Every president of this country needs Luos. Even if today Rigathi Gachagua wins president, he will go for Luos to come on board. He needs them, whether he likes it or not. And Luo can be able to articulate things well, so be it. If Akiku can be able to lead this country well, so be it. If Akisi can be able to deliver services well like Matiang'i, so be it. Somehow, every president of this country needs Luos. Sometimes back, people could think like it's just Raila. No. Raila was very key in every government to every president because he could bring the entire Luo nation on board. Let's understand that. If there could be another leader who had the same ability like Raila Amolo Odinga, they could have preferred him. Because even now, after Raila Amolo Odinga's demise, still William Ruto needs the Luos on board. Somehow, every president will need Luos on board. Kenyatta needed Jaramogi to bring them. Moi, Raila. Uhuru, Raila. Kibaki, Raila. William Ruto, Raila. To bring the Luos on board. Somehow, they are needed by every leader in this country. Let me take you through some of the reasons as to why every president needs the Luos on board. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, please first of all, let me thank you so much for choosing me. Secondly, kindly take a second to subscribe. Thirdly, you can share my videos, kindly if you can. Let me dive into the topic of today. Somehow, every president, every leader needs Luos on board. Not because they are so special, like they are the only ones. No. What I can just say here, they are very, very unique. Unique in such a way that there are things they can offer which no other community can offer today. No other community. These people, there's some political charisma that they come with on board. Something that it's very difficult to find in other people, somehow. They can be able to bring some energy in government, something that you cannot find in a Kalenjin, in a Kikuyu, or even in a Kisi. The Kikuyus tend to stick with the system. Kalenjins tend to keep quiet. Kisis tend to concentrate on service delivery. But there's something that a Luo brings on board. Some political charisma. It does not only appear in the people within government like leaders, but also kwa ground. You realize William Ruto has almost 10 cabinet secretaries from Mount Kenya, but just 2 from Luo Nyanza. You can be able to tell there are 2 cabinet secretaries from Luo Nyanza. Right now, if I randomly go to the street and ask people, how many cabinet secretaries does the Mount Kenya have in government? Some of them don't know. Who are these in government from Mount Kenya's cabinet secretaries? Some people might not know. But if you ask them, how many Luos do we have in government? They'll tell you there are 2. 2. And they will tell you what they are doing. A clear indication that there is some political charisma that the Luos bring on board, which does not exist in other tribes. Every president also needs these leaders for perception. William Ruto's government was sinking day by day at a very fast rate. People were so discouraged, demoralized. The government is doing nothing. But the moment he introduced John Mbadi to his position, somehow you find John Mbadi in any media station trying to explain something to Kenyans. Something. He's just trying to explain for people to understand. Even if you don't understand, you see people nodding their head like, yeah, this guy is doing something. It's better. You know, we had someone like John Ndongo. I don't know. I think that is the guy who was the cabinet secretary for treasury. He worked with Kibaki very well. He was doing his work. But miraculously, John Mbadi has become better because he's able to come out. Njuguna Ndung'u could not find him on media most of the time for interviews. I think you can count a number of times he was on social media or even on mainstream medias. But John Mbadi, you can't count. He's always there to create the perception that the government is doing something professionally. And William Ruto, I know where he's seated, is like, yeah, this is the guy I needed. This is the man. This is the guy who was supposed to be on this particular docket. So somehow John Mbadi is creating some perception for William Ruto that the government is doing well when it comes to treasury. And as we speak today, questions do come, yes. But somehow John Mbadi counters them. Somehow. The questions about treasury somehow are going down. We used to have people waiting for treasury to bring the things we call like finance bills. But right now, finance bill imepita 2025 without no one asking what was there. There's nothing serious because John Mbadi already created a perception online that things are good. So, in a way, you need Luos. It's like the cabinet docket, the cabinet education cabinet docket. You need a Agusi to be in that particular docket. Somehow, there's something they can do which other tribes cannot. Uhuru Kenyatta tried in Kaimenyi. You had to go for Matiang'i. Ruto has tried, still it is in Kisii. Ngusi land, I mean. So, there is a way I want to tell ladies and gentlemen that for perception creation, you need Luos in your government. You can have all professions that you want, but they cannot create the perception that the Luos can do. Huh? That the Luos can do. And you don't need so many of them. Let me just tell you this. You don't need so many of them. You just need one. Just one, like John Mbadi. Because we have Opiyo Wandayi. We're not talking about him so much. You know, before, though he has also done a lot. Because let me tell you this. Before we used to have issues with electricity a lot. All the time we could find engineer King I don't know his name well, but the MD for KPLC. Always on social media and mainstream medias, trying to explain things of some problems about KPLC. But people are so angered about him because they're experiencing things that they don't want. I remember at some point, President William Ruto went with Chir David when he was in energy. At Bomet, their stronghold, it was seriously bold because people were experiencing chaos in electricity. But somehow, miraculously, Opiyo Wandayi fixed everything. But right now, the questions about KPLC, nowhere. Even if there are problems, still, you can't find that kind of questioning. Is it that Luos peke yao ndio wanauliza ama ni nini? There's a perception these people bring on board, which no other tribe can. Let's accept. Kila mtu ana part yake. As I usually say on this particular channel, leadership from Kikuyu land is different from the one we get from Kalenjin land. It's completely different. They are both presidents, but there's something better the Kikuyu land brings on board than those ones from the Kalenjin land. We have to honestly accept. Yeah. That's why you find people asking, why can't Uhuru Kenyatta? Mbona kukua demonstrations? Mbona mkusema he must go? But wakati wa Ruto mnasema must go. That must go is not from the Kikuyu land alone. It's across the country. There is something that you guys are not giving from the Kalenjin land that the Kikuyus give. Equally, I'm saying here, there's something that the Luos present which does not come from any other community in this country. Something that every president needs. The other thing these people have, it's the issue to do with quality of leadership. Someone once said, actually the CEO of Karen Hospital, he said that President Moi Kibaki the late, he admired two people. One, it was Michael Kijana Wamalwa. Two, it was Anyang' Nyong'o. Anyang' Nyong'o could articulate issues, could make a speech until the entire world shakes. So Kibaki was always admiring him and saying, if this guy goes abroad and represents Kenya, he can do well. The Luo people tend to bring on board people with a lot of knowledge. Let's honestly admit that. And it's not just they have knowledge, but they can be able to bring out that knowledge that you can see, yeah, this guy, he understands what he's saying. He understands what he's doing. Let me tell you, we have very powerful lawyers from Kisii like now Kongo Mogeni. But they cannot be where the Luo lawyers are. We have very powerful lawyers like Gidu Muigai. Very powerful lawyers. But they cannot bring out the content the way James Orengo can. Not because they are not better in classrooms. No. They are all good, but there's a way a law brings out his knowledge that it's not elsewhere in this country. So the quality of leaders also attracts most of these presidents that, yeah, I have people who can do work, but who can be able to present? So whether we like it or not, even if today Rigathi Gachagua wins presidency, he will go for Luos to come on board. He needs them, whether he likes it or not. Or not. And now the most interesting thing here, they come with the entire community. Every community will always be proud of their son doing something. Even in Moja, I saw a pastor recently from Luo Nyanza saying that you have 2 cabinet secretaries and you are saying we are all in government, and there are almost 10 from Mount Kenya and they are quiet. That is a question that most people can ask themselves. But those in leadership can tell you, even if it is half of them, even if half of a person, that perception that a Luo, that there's something a Luo brings on board which does not exist elsewhere. Let's be very honest about that. Even if it's Matiang'i who wins today, he will need Luos. Even if it is Gachagua, even if it's Kalonzo, even if it's someone from elsewhere, they need Luos on board. That's how this country is. Everyone has something that it does best. If a Luo can be able to articulate things well, so be it. If a Kikuyu can be able to lead this country well, so be it. If a Kisii can be able to deliver services well like Matiang'i, so be it. On the comment section, share with me what you think about the Luos. But I feel they're very important. Thank you so much. See you next time for more videos.